We are back. The Golden Blab, Adam and Kevin, a podcast about Golden Tee.
11th week.
And all other things. And I actually think it's a place to start with all other things, sort of. One of my favorite things to do every major golf tournament is to just monitor our Twitter mentions. Now, I am very online still on Twitter. I don't post on Twitter like at the rate I used to, but I use TweetDeck, so I sort all the mentions of Golden Tee. And so normally, and you know this, in a given week, when somebody hits a ridiculous shot, when you have backspin on a ball, something is happening extraordinary. You get a dunk, our mentions kind of blow up. And so this week, and we are recording this on the day one of the PGA Championship at Valhalla, it has been hilarious to see Golden Tee infiltrate people's minds when they're watching real golf because, and I don't know this golf course very well, Kevin, but when you see it, there are Golden Tee vibes to this course.
Yeah.
There are, in fact, a couple of the holes, I think it was hole 13, are like maximum Golden Tee. And I don't know why I enjoy this as much as I do, but I really, really enjoy it.
Well, it's fun. Like our old friend from the golf.com, Sean Zach, had posted Golden Tee, the game developers, course developers are having a field day watching this because it's literally straight out of the game. And it is fun, seeing everybody talking about it. And there's a few different holes. I think it's number 13 that the guys at No Laying Up were calling the limestone hole. That's the one they were comparing to Golden Tee. Looking at some of the mentions that we got on outside of that, there's a hole that looks straight out of Agave Ranch. It's
hilarious.
It looks pretty damn close. It is perfect. And I love seeing that stuff. Anytime, and by the way, I'm glad you said PGA Championship, not to be confused with the PGA Tour, which hopefully you guys saw us share that. Happy that the PGA Tour was doing something tongue-in-cheek like that, because even internally, not naming any names or anything, but our players as well sometimes mix the two up.
When we went into the relationship with the PGA Tour, it was an education to realize all these different entities of golf and that the majors are separate and the PGA Tour with the PGA. Either way, I love golf. We enjoy golf. Tracking some of my bets today. I saw Cam Smith hitting out of what looked to be, I don't know what it was, like almost like a retention pond, barefoot, where he got up and down for par, which we got a very Golden Tee vibes to it. So every major, I enjoy this because there seems to be, especially when a course that's a little bit more tricked out, when it's something a little unique, not like the classic tried and true, Golden Tee is on people's brains, which is just cool. Like if nothing else, for me, it's like a convergence of worlds. So it's a lot of fun to follow. We'll be watching all week long and hopefully win some money along the way. But hopefully we do have, and we talked about this last show, but do you want to do the honors of our reintroduction official of our newest IT employee?
Yeah. So as we teased, we talked about last week, Travis Tressler, who was previously on the marketing team a couple of years ago, rejoining. He signed all his paperwork, showed up in the office yesterday and today before heading back to Michigan. So it's officially official, outside of telling us he quits already because we put him through the ringer too much.
Yes.
He is here to stay, community and promotion specialist. So, a little bit all around from, player interactions to working with our operators to create contests, to drum up gameplay and just to get some of our newer operators to understand the importance of, player gift cards, operator gift cards, hey, let's do a birdies or better contest next month or a hole-in-one contest or average score, things like that. So, again, when you bring somebody back, it's not like this is the first time it's happened in IT. There are dozens of people who have come back and, are better than ever. And Travis is really excited to be here. I think he's probably, as we're speaking, looking at places in Chicago to move. So hopefully he's having some good luck there, but just very happy to have him back. And he fits right in, like it was 3 years ago.
Yeah, he's good people, man. He's good guy, and really passionate about Golden Tee. We had lunch today, and I love, and you don't need to love Golden Tee to work here, by the way. You don't.
It helps you, though.
Oh
as
well,
you and I can show.
it's a natural pathway in, but it's not a requirement. Like, do you love Golden Tee? Is not something we ask in every interview. Have you played Golden Tee? Is something we ask a lot, just because I love to hear the answers. So, but with him, his love not just for Golden Tee, but the communal component of it. I mean, it was funny talking to him, talking about being at a tournament and how that kind of catapulted his interest back in a certain way. Beyond just talking to the operators, we've kind of talked about this teasing it, not teasing it. I think that gathering players competitively to play Golden Tee is really, really important. It's something that we do now. It's something we're going to continue to reinforce on the development side and also in any other way we can. And I think he's a perfect person to shepherd it. And you and I, it's funny, like, you're talking about, like 20 years of doing stuff like this, plus 20 plus years of doing it. And this was a part of our life, but it was never like the focus. It was always something that we did and we enjoyed to do and we would help promote, but it was never like something where we could actually sink our teeth into to actually say, this is the responsibility. And that I think is awesome. And I think it's going to be great for our sales group, for obviously marketing as a whole. And I think community wise, it's another voice who can eat the shit like we do,
Yeah,
but also
get tagged on Facebook.
Can give the shit and can respond and we'll have an answer for things. So honestly, it's great just to work with good people. And he is very much that.
Yeah. And especially as we kind of, obviously 2025 development stuff has been ramping up for a while internally, but as we get ready to really start working through some of the announcements later in May and then after Worlds in July, Travis is kind of like the perfect piece to the puzzle alongside, Cleo, Andy, and Sean to really just push forward the message. And with all the good stuff that we have coming next year, some stuff we're not ready to tease yet officially, but we're getting closer, I feel.
So speaking of teasing, we're going to do multiple contests in the month of June. We kind of know what they're going to be. This is real time.
Like 90%.
No, and I say we know what they're going to be, but here's what we're going to do. We like doing this stuff. When you have the calendar of Golden Tee, Worlds qualifying has been kind of all consuming in a lot of ways when it comes to like heavy duty contests. But one of the things that we want to really engage are, different ways to promote, to engage players, truly to engage you guys and give you something to shoot for beyond just your normal gameplay. So we will be doing separate commercial and home contests in the month of June. There will be prizes.
Real prizes, not just gift cards and swag, but
real prizes. And if you enjoy these types of things, that's good news. And because for us, it's kind of a beta of using Score It on a grander scale, which I'm really excited about to kind of test this thing out. And so this
really
will
put it to its paces.
Yeah, but this will be beta for us. This is its maiden voyage. We have put it through some exercises, but I'm pumped about this. It's a good time. Yeah, it's summer is different. People are busy, people are around. But it depends really of the summer flow. I can't believe kids are getting out of school here shortly. It's insane. But it's a good time to kind of lean into something like this prior to Worlds. And we will have more information on that next week on the pod?
I'd say by next week's podcast.
All right. Well, good. That's an easier tease. Update on Worlds. What are we talking about today?
6 weeks away. And hopefully, as people are listening to this on Friday, May 17th, they are heading to their favorite commercial game, whether it's a Golden Tee Live or a PGA Tour game that is updated to 23-24, because we have not one but two money shot spots available. Our last golden ticket opportunities. And after that, you got to fly out to Vegas at the Palms, June 27th through the 30th, and qualify in our Target Rush Last Chance qualifier. Which,
by the way, you do both, right? Qualify and then come hang out with us, or have your qualifying spot already in hand. 6 weeks. I was looking at Vegas temps, by the way, just happened to be doing that.
You just love to just paying yourself 6 weeks in advance, don't you?
It's just mentally preparing, right? Mentally preparing. Now, we don't have to leave the hotel this year, so it's like you could just walk. You never even have to go outside if you don't want to. That is a benefit.
That's a
of
very
Prohibition.
Vegas thing.
You don't
Don't
have
go
to
outside,
leave. Don't
period.
leave ever. It's a great hotel. It's a great casino. Come hang out. No, we are. It's go time for this. Essentially, now it starts to get serious. Especially you've got like what you got like Memorial Day, and then we get back, and it
Then it's
feels like
here.
kind of a short month. I am also wondering. I was talking to somebody earlier today about the event, and we were talking about doing mobile and in the arcade worlds together, and just the commentary impact of that. And I can't remember last time we did it what shape my voice was in. I know last year's worlds, both of them, my voice was held up. It
Yeah.
surprisingly held up. I'm a little nervous about, and it's not just commentary, by the way. We're there, we're talking to people, we're hanging out with people. It's not just, you're just a lot of goddamn talking. It's dry
Yeah.
out there too. It's not you know what I mean? So
Vegas being Vegas does not help
Vegas is,
either.
yeah. The after hours activities are also not great for voice. So I am
Shout out
wondering,
to Eddie G.
God damn it. Those are mistakes were
and
made.
the claw game. The claw game.
Mistakes were made. That's one of those moments in Vegas, and I don't know, like when you look down, you're like, it's only 10:30, and then you look down again, it is 4:30.
Yeah.
What has happened? Time has erased. Your day is now ruined. Go home.
There's 4 hours of sleep. Done.
Yeah,
That's it.
No, I'm getting excited, and I've talked to a few people out there. I know with the McGregor fight, they've already set like a record for gate, like already in terms of what the expectations are. That city is going to be alive, with both McGregor fans and Golden Tee fans. Of course, I know where my allegiances are. So, no, I'm excited.
Still nothing for Dana White, by the way. I'm a little offended.
We're working on that. What else in terms of announcements do we have in terms of things coming out?
Honestly, well, on the world's front, one last thing too. If you're looking for a place to stay, again, because you don't want to walk in 100 plus degree temperatures, we still have a handful of rooms left at the Palms. So if you need to get a room, shoot us a message, shoot us a DM on social media, email, whatever the case may be, because we'll be happy to get you the special price to get in there, and also help save my ass from having to spend money for hotel stuff. So no, there's a lot of good stuff though. Like you said, Worlds is coming up quick. Now it's getting to the shipping logistics portion. Hey, do we have the right size posters, and what kind of swagger players going to get, things like that. But on the game side front, Kangaroo, our good old Golden Tee Live 05, or the 05 OG as I like to call it, getting another one of those, getting a remaster coming out on May 27th, a little over a week and a half away. But for Golden Tee PGA Tour commercial players and homeowners, are going to do a week-long event next week just to kind of tease that and ease people into a Memorial Day weekend, right up into Kangaroo launch.
I am. We were some separate conversations about like courses that'll be in the Worlds mix, and when I think about Kangaroo, that's an iconic course, right? You have a 35 under on it, famously being shot by Greg Kinsler, so that's out there. Granted, it was a ridiculous round, and but I'm really interested. And I think you may have mentioned this. I can't remember if you mentioned the pod or just us talking with equipment and it being in the limelight and seeing some different things. Obviously, this stuff has been out there with equipment for a while, but it's just a fun course. It's a beautiful course. It's easy on the eyes, and it will not shock me if this is like an enormous factor when it comes to Worlds. I'm like already anticipating great, iconic Worlds matchups, and like I don't know, the size of the greens, hole 18, like there's so many things.
Hole 17 too.
Hole 17. There's definitely in terms of elevation, and we'll talk about it more next week. But I it's awesome that we still have content, by the way. That's the other thing. I know we're kind of tooting our horn, but it's neat that we're going this far into the calendar. We're saying, hey, there's a new course still to come out, and not only is it coming out, it's like a badass course that we feel strongly about. So
Yeah,
it,
it's a lot of fun. And, again, when it comes to World Championship courses, it's the same thing we did last year and we said last year. This is going to be the semi-official of, hey, every course that you can play for prizes, with the exception of Classic Course of the Week, is going to be potentially in play one way or another when it comes to qualifying, when it comes to match play. So the PGA Tour courses, the remastered courses, everyone's favorite Red Sands. I heard a lot of requests that we need Red Sands in the World Championship. So shout out to everybody who's reached out to me about that, because all those courses are going to be in play. It's on the game, it's in play, and it'll be interesting to see how some of those courses really make a difference. I know Red Sands gets a lot of shit, and so be it. For a 27-year-old course, it's a lot of fun, to me at least. But there's some holes that are sometimes drivable, sometimes not. I saw people in St. Louis using the arrows on the course because they were trying to get that little extra distance, hitting a 180 to try to grab an extra stroke here or two. And Kangaroo is such an interesting one. You could have a perfect round going into 17, and those trees that surround the green, that tiny green, that downslope, could really just screw up some form of a 35 under that you may have going into it. And 18 is not much easier.
No, it's I look, this is what makes the World Championship fun too, is you have such variety. I like the defensive Red Sands. By the way, I like the course. The funniest thing about though Red Sands, so with the game behind me, I am trying to play every day, multiple times a day. I've said I wanted to educate myself for Worlds, but the problem is, like, I'll leave a game on here for like 3 hours and then I'll come back cold, miss a putt like I do, and just be, God damn it. And then I'll DNF, quit, which I often do as well. It needs to be one constant motion. But right now I've got like an 18-hole game taking about 4.5 hours, right?
Yeah, that's probably not too helpful. I mean, what you can start doing is taking your Teams calls on your phone with no video and just mute it.
I did that the other. Caitlin called me. My wife called me, and I was talking to her. She said, "Yeah, I may have even mentioned this last week. I can't remember. Are you playing Golden Tee?" No. I don't know what that sound is. They're working on the office building next to ours. God damn. Yeah, that's one of those. So, but I'm educating myself on the courses, right? Slowly but surely. And I could not be more excited. The closer we get, the more anxious I get. Sure, the same way. But it's such a meaningful event. We put so much into it, and we're at the Palms, by the way. We have to stop and like we've been everywhere. We've tried different things. We've gotten closer and closer to the Strip, but we're at a pretty damn iconic venue for this that I think everyone's going to enjoy. So, again, you still have a chance to qualify. Please do, or try to. We know it's not easy. And then if you don't, come to Vegas.
You still have a chance.
Yeah, come to Vegas. We'd love to have you.
Yeah, GoldenTee.com, at Golden Tee on social media, Golden Tee Fan on Facebook for the group. There's tons of places to get get your information in on Worlds and other things. And it's funny to see now that we're getting closer, the posts that are starting to pop up of, hey, where's everybody staying? When's everybody get in? I'm not qualified, but I'm showing up. And the other thing that's very controversial, and I'm going to just, not really care. I mean, I care, but it is what it is the whole conversation about closest to the pin versus target rush. And, say what you want about Target Rush. And, again, the Target Rush has been around for a year. Closest Pin was around forever. But when it comes to the level of competition that we like to have for Worlds, and just this Target Rush was kind of built for this last chance qualifier in my eyes. Like, yeah, you could do money shot. Yeah, we could do casual closest to the pin, or, Adam, you could bring back closest to the pin for prizes, whatever. But Target Rush, you do a best out of 3. You got to be on your A game to get in the World Championship. And, when we talk about things like betting odds potentially through the sportsbook at the Palms, and just the prize pool, that $35,000 top prize we're giving away, you want the best of the best. And it's not to discourage, newer players or more average players from coming. It's just, that's the game mode. You've got to be on your A game, be able to adapt as quick, as those 60-second rounds go.
Look, when we did this for players at Worlds, we had them do a 3-course event or 3-club event, right? Like, which, by the way, they were horrible at, and it was a really tough watch.
It was like a 7-hour long event.
One of the more interesting Worlds experiments we've ever had, which was to like give them 3 clubs and make a really hard course, and then watch them struggle mightily.
Actually, we should do 3 clubs for Kangaroo's event next week.
We could. I mean, that's it. So, look, whatever you're shooting, shoot it close to the cup or in the cup, and you got a chance to go, right? Like that's like the name of the. Like, obviously, in terms of time and everything else, it does change. But if you play well, you'll qualify and you have a chance to win $35,000. And so ultimately, that's still the stakes. So I'm excited. Again, I love trying the new things, whether it's on the game or away from the game. And ultimately, because I know that the target rush and closest to pin thing is coming back up, we follow the data. This isn't just saying, hey, let's pull closest to the pin because everybody loves it. No, we looked at numbers and said, wow, this is a mode that now, of course, engages a cult-like following that we can repurpose in other areas, but X number of people are or aren't playing it. I just, like, when we make these calls, this isn't just like throwing a dart, an actual dart golf ball, which, of course, is very popular in Target Rush. It is data-driven, always, always, always. When it comes to doing stouts, when it comes to do all these things, we have a prerequisite of what we think a good game mode is supposed to do, which is actually a harder evaluation now because there's more modes than there was, right? It is. It's a little bit behind the, like how you make the chocolate bar. There's no good one way to do it. But the evaluation is constant. It also changes over time. Closest to the pin casual was a non-popular mode and now is morphed into something that's like really, really popular, especially obviously for the home folks. So my kids want to play close to the pin casual.
See right there. I just see the clip. Adam's kids love to play closest to the pin.
Close to the pin casual. But even like we had close to the pin with Glory, nobody played it. Nobody. It was dormant. It was actually the least played mode in like an entirety of Golden Tee, believe it or not. So, but you already know. So it really is a matter of trying new things and figuring it out. For the interim, go to Vegas, play Target Rush, win money, have beers. It's a pretty easy assignment when it comes to this stuff.
And the other thing too, you look back to 5 years ago, in the 2019 World Championship, we had the 30-minute spot on ESPN. It was a massive production. It was our second year at the Orleans. Vibes were incredibly well, but also there was a lot of nervousness in the air because of what we were doing, just in terms of production and cameras and players' faces and stuff. But look at that finals match. Jared Decker, who before that was relatively unknown outside of a few small tournaments here and there, going, neck and neck with our good friend Mark Stenmark. And, of course, ultimately Stenmark winning his second World Championship there. But, I always try to tell players, very rarely will you ever go into a tournament, like a national tournament, a local bar tournament, or even the World Championship and be the best player there. But you play well, you qualify well, you shoot well, you take advantage of any missteps that your opponent makes, and, you shoot better than them. And you could do what Jared Decker did 5 years ago. So
get hot. Like,
that's exactly it.
Get hot. And I think we've mentioned this a little bit. Like, when you look at people who can legitimately win worlds, first off, anybody can legitimately win worlds. So everyone has a fair shake. I think it's a larger group of people because of that vibe than it has ever been, ever. And I think that's awesome. I think that's great for the health of the game. I think it's great for the health of these events. And I think it speaks to the testament of people's ability to play and learn and master, or attempt to master Golden Tee. So it's awesome. I love that part of it. I will meet a lot of new people, learn a lot about the game. I love seeing the different styles. It's always been something that I enjoy with this, of how people play and what, for as similar as a shot can be into a green. man, it feels very different depending on how you're hitting it and who's hitting it and what way they're hitting it, what ball they're using. Are they using a tee? I mean,
Are they
this is what
thumbing
drove.
it? Are they
This is
Joe
what
Massara, Paul Tayloing it with a 7-click
oh,
left full that nobody
so
needs to play, but it almost
uh,
goes in?
yeah,
You
like
know,
I remember seeing the first time the Foles make an appearance in Worlds, and it was like we were like
that was
dumbfounded.
2017, I think, for the most part. I remember
And it
I
was
actually
like,
just watched that
holy
not long
shit.
ago.
Yeah, we didn't know, like, really? You know, and by the way, what we mean for that, if you're watching the daily contest, players, you know, turning left or right, 1 or 2 clicks and hitting a shot that doesn't quite make much golden tee sense into a green, but hitting it really, really close and being able to repeat the shot pretty much on command, right? It's astonishing, though, to see that in a tournament because it's so counter to what the every golden tee fan will do. Don't
It
turn
really
away
is.
from it. They'll turn away from it to fight a win. They're not. These guys aren't
They're
fighting
go-
a win. They're leaning right into the damn win, right? So no, I love that, the creativity, and then the stakes, the intensity. For as much fun as we will have, there's a lot of money on the line, and so for that, it really, you know, that room knows how to exactly when to turn it on. So we will turn it on with them. One last thing. It's a tough one to talk about, but also something that I think we're really proud of. We are getting into the point where we're going to be talking about features for Golden Tee 2025, launch dates, features, courses, you name it. Like, this is the most fun that we're going to have. But one of the things that we wanted to announce here was a club set, which may seem, you know, not significant, right? When you say a new club set, we do these every year. We've introduced some new clubs. But this one's important because it is the Stenmark set. And it is named after none other than, of course, Mark Stenmark, who, you know, passed away. God, how long has it been? I don't know. Last year, obviously,
Yeah,
right?
it's been a little while already.
So this was, to be honest, an easy decision because we want to honor Mark in really meaningful ways in Golden Tee. So beyond that, we have been working and have worked with his family to we want this bag to be something that they are proud of, that they approve, and that we're going to donate all the proceeds of any purchase of the bag to a charity that his family has selected. And we'll obviously make this more official once we release the bag, and we want to really kind of celebrate his legacy in different ways. And it's hard. It's hard because even this time prior to Worlds, I think about him a lot. Because when you think about the World Championship, you think about Mark Stenmark. And even us talking before the show, it's like, hey, we're starting to talk about development stuff. Like, what a more appropriate way to kick it off, as tough as it is, to say, hey, this is something we felt strongly about, and working with his family. They're unbelievable, of course. And yes, it's coming to an update near you. And obviously any purchase made is going to go directly to the charity of choice, which we want to embrace, and we'll, you know, provide more information as we get closer to launch. So you've been involved with this as well. So by all means.
Yeah, you know, again, anytime you have something like this happen to the community, you know, it's hard. And it you know, I still remember, you know, when we heard it, and it was just, you kind of like dumbfounded, like, wait, what happened? And it's very surreal, you know, the first tournament after that happens. And, you know, it's really, it's really upsetting, but, you know, you see the light in some of the things, like the community come together, you know,
Yeah.
the development team, some who have met Mark, some that don't know him, but understand his importance to the community and to the game. And just, you know, on the fun side of it, like, just a player that just kicked so much ass out of nowhere on the national tour, you know, finally wins a world championship. And then 2 years later, we were talking about this earlier with Travis about betting odds. You know, the guy had not played a game in 8 months, and the sports book wanted to have him at a certain odd set. We're like, hold on, this guy has been away for 8 months, but when he touches that trackball, it's game on.
Good
so
luck.
You might
Yeah.
want to just be careful with that. You know, and so you talk to any of the players, whether they were new or they've been around for a while, and Stenmark was always Not necessarily more than others, but he was one of those top guys that anybody knew could come up to him, especially once his face was in the game. And, players were like, oh shit, this is the guy that I'm playing as on the game. I just always very friendly and, always happy to have a beer and chat. Even the last couple of years, we saw him last year's Worlds where his focus was not Golden Tee, but other stuff and family. And, was just happy to be there. Didn't play, exceptionally well, but he was just happy to be there with friends and, support what we were doing and just have a good time.
Yeah, I think also to his family, they were involved along the way, coming to events, being on the stage, right? I mean, like stuff, when you think about the impact and doing this, I can tell you internally when we talked about this idea, people were anxious. They wanted to do it. They really wanted this to look great. They want everything we make, we want to look great. But there was a certain sort of pressure, a significance behind wanting to design something that the community will rally around, which of course they will. This is an unbelievable community. And that Stenmark's family would look at and say, have an appreciation for it. It was really important to me that before we did anything, this is something we talked through and they were involved every step of the way, from the approval to picking the charity that we are going to work with. So, as we get into this time where we're dropping dates and we're doing information, this is all fun. We're making video games and it's a job, and we take it too personally, I think sometimes, right? We take it very, very seriously.
Not at all.
When you mix passion and a profession, it's a great thing. It's also actually sometimes can be a really hard thing, because when you care, and you can't shut that care off. But we make games, right? We don't fix hearts. We fix broken bones. We make games. There's serious things there that I think are far more important and far more meaningful than what course are we playing, what new mode are you guys doing, when's it coming out, and that's this. So as we get into all this, it would have felt, I don't know, almost disingenuous to talk about anything else before something that, frankly, of all the shit that we're doing, and there's a lot of it, all the shit that's coming out, when it's coming out, not to highlight this first. And we'll talk more about it soon. The charity component is really, really meaningful. So I want to make sure we do that right. And obviously, hopefully extend beyond just the club set of things that we're going to be able to do to support that. But it's serious. Like for us, it's vital that the family bought in, and obviously we want the community to enjoy it and support it and play with it as well. The bag content. So we want to talk about that, like what the bag. It is his World Championship set. Also, that was also important to us. Like, what are you going to make? No, it's the tools that ultimately he was able to conquer the grandest stage of Golden Tee.
Now I was thinking about this because I actually do not know, and which is why I'm going to put you on the spot here. Do you know which of his World Championship sets it is? Because he technically has two of them.
It is his final World Championship. It was the bag that he used, and I don't know the contents of the set specifically offhand. God damn it! Why did you put me on the spot?
You
but
by the way, not me. I wasn't going to do it.
Damn it! Well, at least spin and let me fumble for an Excel. No, it was his second World Championship bag that we utilized, and no, it's an honor. Honestly, this is something that we will support in every way we can. And this time of year, you can't help.
I was just going to say that.
You just can't help it.
You talk about the World Championships, and especially the number of names on the list that have won 2 World Championships is not long.
No.
But he was the last one to do it, or the most recent one to do it. And so no, it was very fitting when we knew. Honestly, when we put this agenda together, it was kind of just a casual conversation, and Worlds was supposed to be a little cliff note. And of course, you and I, we bullshit a lot, and we talk a lot when it comes to some of the stuff that we love. And again, the Stenmark piece was very important because, he means a lot to the community, to this company, and we want to make sure that we honor that, on the game in the best way possible.
Yeah, it's like I said, we'll have more information. We will talk. I want to make sure we're fully educated on the charity to speak to it before we announce it, frankly, which is why we'll hold that for another episode or other ways to do it. But it's amazing. And again, his family, the way they've been involved in the community, and the way that they even have supported this initiative, it means a lot. So I know that's not the normal nonsense content we do, but that's what this podcast is. It's
meaningful.
Whatever the moment calls for. There will be plenty of nonsense. We will lose our mind. On the topic of Worlds, do we know what we're doing? Are we going to record there? Are we going to do a live? Like, we should record while we're setting up games. We got to end on a little.
You and I should take a break in the middle of setting up games to just fuck everyone else up and we got to record the podcast, guys.
We'll be back in 5 hours.
Quiet on the set. We'll record from the nearest Buffalo or huffing even more puff machines.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think that's fun no matter what we do. It has to be in Vegas.
Yeah, we will. I don't know. We will do something different, and we should do something different.
Maybe we could hit like a 5K jackpot and we could record the podcast at 3 a.m. or something. Oh, that would be good.
Live from the video poker bar. Maybe we could do live. Who knows? Who knows what we could do? We are going to do something different, though. And on the odds front, I guess the last thing, we're working toward it. I think we've been pretty transparent about what we hope to accomplish. We're still really hoping to get that done. I'm excited about it, and we'll have more soon. Any other final parting shots here?
No,
a lot going on.
I don't think so. There is a lot going on. It's been a busy week. It's one of those weird weeks where I can't tell you that there's been anything like bad or negative, but this is one of those weeks where there's so much where you're like, how the hell is it not Friday?
Yes.
Technically whoever's listening to this, it'll be Friday for them, but it's just a busy week, and it's only going to get busier as we ramp up for Worlds and GT 2025. But this is like the crunch time, but crunch is a bad word because it's a fun and exciting kind of crunch time almost.
Yeah, it is. And I think people are going to be excited. The stuff we're working on too. There's some really cool stuff coming. It really is. We're paid to say that, but the more we start to process it, put the plan together, I think it's going to be interesting to a lot of people. No matter how you play, no matter what you like to play, I think this update's going to have a little bit of everything.
And worst comes to worst, there's more opportunities for you to bitch about stuff that you don't like.
There will be that too. Right? Like let it be known. There will be, of course, there will be. But and like our playthroughs of the courses are last thing. I was talking to the course team, right? Because when you come to, this is the time where the courses are pretty much solidly in place. And one of the things that we did and have done as a group is sit down and play these things. And as all the development units coming together, so from art to programming to QA to marketing to whatever the fuck I am, some sort of monster. Oh yeah. But I love Golden Tee, so I know enough to be dangerous still. So I wear a bunch of different hats, but everybody comes together with their perspective, and we play, and we play, and we play, and everybody obsesses over something different. The music in and out of holes, the tee box being aligned, the whole design, of course, which I think you and I are more in. Like it's one of my favorite things of the year, and it takes like 4 hours to play a single round of Golden Tee because these are 4-player games, and you're thinking about every shot. This is the end of like a development cycle for us. And then, of course, QA and everything, it really ramps up from there. But I enjoy it. I enjoy it a lot, because it's fun to sit around with everybody and bullshit and play Golden Tee. But also all the different perspectives we get when we play a specific design for the first time, at least for a lot of us for the first time. So that is fast approaching, which I look forward to. We got lots of other things to do. So with that, enjoy the PGA Championship this week. Get ready for Worlds. Hopefully by the time you listen to this, you are attempting to qualify or have qualified, and you're booking your trip to Vegas. We will talk to you guys next week.